So this video is about how to produce a curved plinth or cornice when you have a curved cupboard in a kitchen, but it will also be applicable if you had skirting board you wanted to curve or anything like that. Now you can see here that what I've got is a small length of straight cornice which I now need to curve around this unit here and then turn into another straight. The cornice was not available curved off the shelf, and so what I'm going to have to do is form a piece of straight cornice to make the curve. So the first thing we need to do is work out how long our piece of wood needs to be. So using a tape measure, we measure from the edge of the cupboard here all the way around the external curve to the edge of the cupboard here, and that's 556mm in this instance. We then also need to measure the radius, which in this instance starts here and finishes there and is 337mm. Having measured the cabinet, we then transpose the dimensions onto a straight piece of wood. So here I have a 556mm piece of wood. I found the centre line and then divided 337 in two and marked the extremes on either side. I then marked 10mm divides all the way along the piece of wood from one edge to the other. Having marked up the piece of wood, now we need to set up the saw. What we're going to do is set the saw up so that we don't cut through the full depth of the wood, leaving maybe 1 or 2mm through each of the cuts. To do this, I'm using a plunge saw, but you could use a compound miter saw or anything else you can set the depth of the cut on. You can see that I've set the cut here so that I'm maybe 2 or 3mm from the edge of the piece of wood. To position this piece of cornice correctly, I've marked the distance that it needs to sit against on the cabinet here, and you can see here that I've also fitted this piece of cornice. Now I'm going to use miter bond to glue this surface to one of the curved surfaces, one of the surfaces of the curved piece that I have, and then I'm going to effectively let the curve follow this here, and then I'm going to glue to a piece on that side over there. And that's the curved cornice installed. So I've joined it to both parts of the straight lengths, and then there's some angle brackets behind that keeping it square. And then underneath where you would have seen the cuts, I filled those with anthracite silicone to try and minimise the look of them. Okay, well hopefully that's been useful, and any questions then please post. Cheers guys.